Coming to you from Chester, Pennsylvania. It's the midweek USL Championship action here from Talon Energy Stadium on ESPN+. Plus, Bethlehem Steel FC hosting Hartford Athletic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Josh Eastern, joined by Devin Kerr. And this game tonight featuring two sides, both below the playoff line, but one team with 3 points can get above that line.
Most importantly, let's just wipe the slate clean. You'll take a look at the playoff race and exactly where we sit in the Eastern Conference right now. Looking up at everybody, most teams have been stagnant. St. Louis FC just got their first win. Last one was in April 27th. Good news for Bethlehem Steel and Hartford Athletic. As they've struggled, others around them have as well. Hartford Athletic, to be honest, has actually been one of the better ones below the playoff line. But you have no more margin for error. Now it is time to kick things into high gear. If you want to hit that 45, 50 point mark, now is time to kick it into action. What a better way to start it than just after midseason form.
And one player to watch for tonight for Bethlehem, Shivani Willis, 3 goals and an assist in 18 appearances so far this season.
Really much more than that for the 21-year-old, and it's his continued progression as a professional. This is a guy who spent the first part of the season sitting deep in the midfield next to James Chambers. They really liked what his offensive prowess brought to the table. They stoked that fire a little bit. Unfortunately, it faded, but they feel like he's starting to get back into form. And with all the rotating personnel, another opportunity for Shivani Willis to play much more of an offensive role in this Bethlehem Steel squad.
And on the other side for Hartford Athletic, Sem DeVitt is the center back tonight for Hartford Athletic. Leads the team in blocks, interceptions, and duels won, but tonight they'll be looking for their first clean sheet.
They missed him heavily last game. Coming off of yellow card accumulation, he had to sit down in suspension, and he will finally be paired next to Alex Davey. The back four you're going to see tonight is the look for Hartford Athletic going forward. This guy leads from the back all the way going forward with his teammates. They've been much better on the defensive side of things, still waiting for that offensive explosion.
So Hartford Athletic will look to get on the road and get 3 points, while Bethlehem Steel will look to protect their home field. Lineups and first kick coming up next here on ESPN+. Back here in Chester, Pennsylvania, the team's taking it to the pitch tonight. Bethlehem Steel hosting Hartford Athletic. Let's get into tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with the home side. Bethlehem Steel, coached by Brendan Burke. 4 changes to the lineup tonight.
We're also going to add in Todd Morton, the goalkeeper. Younger brother Kyle Morton, the standout for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, comes over from the Real Monarchs. No appearances yet in the 2019 season. Had a stellar college career, but now it's his time to get a shot with the big boys. Walter Cortez, Olivier Bizo, the outside backs. Matt Real will tuck inside. He'll look to help lead this attack going forward with Benu Famo. Of course, James Chambers is a solid one in the middle. And what is the relationship in this front four of Willis, Zandy, Rayan, and of course, Schneider Borgelin? It will be quite interesting to see how things play out. You take a look at the visiting squad in the likes of Hartford Athletic. What will this be? It's a different look for Jimmy Nielsen. He's going to push Daniel Butoh up top alongside Alex Dixon. Nicky Downs is going to go onto the right-hand side. That's a spot that he occupied underneath Harry Swartz when Swartz went down with injury. Of course, he's still coming back. Dalgaard finally gets the start, making his way back from that quad injury. The back four is exactly what Jimmy Nielsen has been looking for. This will be your group going forward. Of course, Frederick Douay, the mainstay in between the pipes.
And just 4 players on the bench tonight for Hartford Athletic. They made 3 changes to the squad here tonight, and it'll be Hartford Athletic in all white, and it'll be Bethlehem Steel in their home blues. What are you looking for early on in this match?
I want to see the boys up top for Bethlehem Steel, Saran and Schneider Borgelin, have a little fun. They've struggled on the offensive side of things. Ferris dealing with a injury, and a couple other boys. Of course, the youngsters rotating a lot of pieces. I'd like to see the front 3-4 really go after this back line that has not played a lot of games together. And that's because some of it just getting the opportunity with Alex Davey. Kyle Karinga had rotated in and out. The 3 of them quite regular, but now it's finally 4. And when you're not together on a regular basis, you start to second guess. Communication isn't always there. And then offensively for Jimmy Nielsen's boys, they don't necessarily need to find a goal early on. I'd like to see that. More importantly, I don't want them to give one up. And the struggles recently for them have been slow starts, and they've really succeeded a lot of goals in the back of the net for no reason. They've had to struggle in their recent fixtures coming from behind. The good news for them, even though the character's been tested, they've shown some resilience. Unfortunately, they've really only been able to handle the likes of Indy 11. That was all the way back on July 13th. So the past 3 games, Swope Park Rangers, the Battery, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds getting the better of them early on. Time to start fast and really impose your will on the opposition.
Both teams coming in off of losses, and both teams gave up a whole lot of goals. Bethlehem Steel gave up 3 on the road to St. Louis, while Hartford gave up 4 at home to Pittsburgh. We are just about set to kick things off. It's Alex Dixon standing in the center circle. The referee tonight, Danielle Chesky. She is still directing a few more things before we can kick things off. Pointing to behind the Bethlehem goal.
Just letting James Chambers know early on, no tomfoolery. I've seen your games before. Stay out of trouble tonight.
So Bethlehem Steel looking to protect their home field at Talon Energy Stadium, while Hartford Athletic looking to avenge that 3-0 loss between these two sides a few weeks ago. We're underway here from Chester, Pennsylvania. Bethlehem Steel coming in off of that loss against St. Louis. We're talking to Brendan Burke earlier this week, saying we had them in a good position early, but a bad start to the second half was really just a 10-minute spell, and the game really got away from us. On the other side, for Hartford Athletic, that loss to Pittsburgh, they scored 2 goals, but they gave up 4, and that's not usually a good combo. So Hartford starting it off here, trying to play out from the back. We'll see how that relationship, as you said, works up top with Bethlehem without their leading goal scorer. Both teams without their leading goal scorer tonight. Jose Angulo is coming off the bench, but Ferris out due to injury. Both these teams about right in the middle of the USL Championship in goal scoring. It really comes down to, for Hartford at least, keeping teams out of goal. They have given up the most with 53 goals and no clean sheets either.
Already an interesting little look on the right side of things for Bethlehem Steel. Lisa Rayan has set just a bit deeper than the lineup card that was turned in. Shivani Willis getting the opportunity up top with Schneider Borgelin. That was a look that Brendan Burke said we might see, wanted to see how things played out in training over the past few days. And that is an interchangeable piece between the two of them. Shivani Willis not used to be playing that high. We said offensively that he needed to continue his growth, but now an opportunity to play in one of those striking 2 up top. Let's see if he can make the most of it.
Here's James Chambers getting it wide as Bethlehem look to build their first attack. Our first look at the new guy in town, Todd Morton, from West Chester, Pennsylvania, so right next door here to Chester, his home area. And he gets acquired today and right into the starting lineup for Bethlehem Steel here tonight.
A kid that already talked about, had a nice collegiate career, both with UMBC and then Delaware, fighting Blue Hens. Nice to see them represented at the professional level. About 500 in terms of his career record was, but carried a 741 save percentage. That's always nice, just above a goal a game for the goals against average. 17 shutouts too, so obviously proving that he can get it done on a regular basis at that collegiate level. Goes to Real Monarchs, not getting the opportunity initially, and then with the change in management, a few pieces moving around, he's not the only one who's stepped out of that Western Conference team. A good shot for Todd Morton to let the boys in the East know that he's here to stay.
So he gets a start on his first day on the job here for Bethlehem Steel. There's Matt Rial, his center back spot tonight. Seen a little bit of pressure here from Bethlehem early on. That is something that Brendan Burke was talking to us about this week. Didn't like the pressure from his front line against St. Louis. We'll see how things play out here tonight.
Immediately you see the directions being employed by Shivani Willis. There's a nasty tackle from behind Jorgensen, and he's pointing. And that was one of the things that Burke also mentioned, where not only were they not pressing appropriately, it was one was going or two were going. It wasn't a collective effort. You need to find a way when you play this high line to make it 3 and 4 in a bunch. Kind of what you're seeing out of Hartford Athletic, except for Jorgensen going to ground. And the trailing run, of course, of Karinga on the end of it. So when you do press, has to be an entire group. One gets it wrong, spaces start to open up, makes it that much easier to break the opposition down.
It's one back here by Hartford. They come in at the bottom, and it's been a tough go of it this season, but as of late, they've started to turn things around a little bit, putting together at least a little bit better performances, but it's finding that complete performance that has evaded them here down the stretch in the past few weeks.
Especially as good as they've been in the second half, where you catch those 20, 30-minute windows. We've seen the offensive explosions really come into play. You also have to take into account that teams at that point in time are up by 2 and 3 goals. But they'd like to put all of that in the rearview mirror here, and an opportunity on the road against a Bethlehem Steel squad that felt like they were on the up and up. Unfortunately, struggled a bit in the last match, as you mentioned, versus St. Louis FC. You've really started to reach that gray area where the point of no return side staring you directly in the face. Give you an idea from a playoff perspective. 45 points and 38 points, and people are going to kind of shake their head and go, that wasn't the case, because Bethlehem had 44. Yes, but we moved to 10 teams now. So that gives you an idea of where they need to stand respectively. Bethlehem Steel right now on 22 points, just 16 off the mark set in 2017. 45 would be the number if 2018 has repeated itself. Hartford Athletic has a bigger hill to climb, unfortunately. They're just below that, 13 points, so that much further. Of course, plenty of games in hand for them to climb up, but you're really looking at only 3 or 4 down the stretch that you can push by the wayside for points.
Corner kick upcoming for Bethlem, the first of the night for either side. There's a look at Shivani Willis. First corner of the night here for Bethlehem. And in swinger. Into the middle. And missed the head. Looked like that was Borgelin in there. Bethlehem keep the attack on. Another ball in from Chambers. Headed away again. Karinga can clear. Maybe a chance to counter here. Here's Alex Dixon. Some good pace. Hartford look to get it wide now. The cross in all the way through the 6. Will it go out? It will stay in. Another opportunity here for Hartford as they keep the pressure on. The shot from Jorgensen goes well wide, but Hartford working that counterattack.
Top quality buildup for Jimmy Nielsen's boys. Love the movement by Ryan Williams coming out of the middle. Nicky Downs had tucked himself in, trying to make the run to the top of the 18. See the trailing run by Dalgaard as well. Alex Dixon just can't get on the end of it, but it's beautiful rotation from Hartford Athletic.
That ball in from Ryan Williams the Englishman in a very dangerous area. Just nobody in a white jersey in that 6-yard area. As Morton will put it back in play. Here's Zach Zandy, another Westchester native. His pass is intercepted. As Hartford look to build forward. Sem DeVitt, we mentioned him in the pregame, coming off of that yellow card accumulation suspension from last week. A nice piece to get back this week on the road at Bethlehem. Now it's Karinga. Patient build up here for Hartford. Looking to distribute wide, hit a player in the back, and Bethlehem can gain possession back. Last time Bethlehem played at home was that 4-3 loss against New York Red Bulls 2. It's a back and forth match. Bethlehem gave up 3 unanswered goals after scoring 3 unanswered goals to lose that game 4-3. But talking with Brendan Burke, they came back and got a huge win off of a Walter Cortez wonder goal against Louisville on the road. When talking about the resiliency of his squad, he said that's what's keeping us alive right now.
It's a beautiful strike from the Costa Rican, an area of his game that has really been tailored over the course of the season, getting better and better every time out. That just comes with confidence. And it's quite difficult to grab when a lot of experience in your squad.
Here's Zandy, couldn't quite get his laces behind it, and Dewey can pick it easily.
Now can you find a way to replicate those efforts? Zach Zandy, he's another one who had a ridiculously amazing goal early on this year. First game out against Birmingham Legion, where Bethlehem Steel in those first few matches looked quite nice. Unfortunately, Zach Zandy has not found the back of the net since. Had an injury around the end of June, beginning of July, dealing with a minor issue with his foot, but seems like he's back to full strength, according to his manager.
The Villanova product, Zach Zandy. Now as Hartford look to build an attack. And very patient early on. Now Dixon gets on the end of it. Here's Jorgensen. Karinga now. Try to keep it in the attacking areas. Before it's cleared away by Mbaizo. Ten minutes gone. Some good build-up play by both sides, but not a true good opportunity on net yet. Jorgensen clips the ball inside, the shot! And it goes wide. Good build-up play. Once again by Hartford, it was Butoh going wide.
The good news is the thought process in the final third is ever present in the opening 10 minutes. Something that Hartford Athletic has really struggled with recently. Always entering the second half with a lot of emotion and taking advantage of those. But the first half is where it's really been lacking. Going highlight reel here. Daniel Butoh, one of the guys that you and I talked about, quite high and mighty on him. Jimmy Nielsen is on loan from NYCFC, and the journey that he's taken to get here, nothing short of spectacular. 2 standout seasons with St. John's, the Red Storm, and getting an opportunity with New York Red Bull Youth Program. That's where he started. Went back to the U23s and then played for the 2 team and back in 2015. Unfortunately, it's been up and down since, but feels like a release on life in New York.
Here's Dixon. And did that take a deflection wide? It did. But Dixon's gotten in some good areas early, and this one earns Hartford a corner.
Good stuff here from Alex Dixon. Nice little rotation out, trying to get on that left foot of his. Look at the speed. That was a question mark for you, was would Matt Real be able to handle the workload, stepping from that outside marking back position, tucking into the interior with Benufemu. And you can just see a bit of confusion coming back across when the rotation comes there. Who passes off? Fortunate enough, Dixon can't hit the back of the net for Bethlehem Steel.
Williams a corner. headed in, and Morton's able to make the catch. So not too dangerous on that occasion. We've seen Matt Real play mostly outside back for the Union, for the US U20s as well. They're getting an opportunity tonight at center back. This one will go over the end line for a goal kick.
You and I were discussing that before we came on air, and just felt that the way that the matchups are and the personnel that are at hand, it's a lot easier for Brendan Burke to rotate Matt Real to an interior position compared to Olivier Bizo. Olivier Bizo has experience there as well, but with the speed that his has, combined with the matchups on the right side, you can have Olivier Bizo, Issa Rian, and Shivani Willis all firing together on one side. And yes, they flip-flop their outside mids, but with Brendan Burke having all three of those pieces on one side of the field, that suits them much more nicely compared to Matt Real isolated, and can't pull Walter Cortez in there either. So it gives them the opportunity to still have the balance, and as young as Matt Real is, he has a massive amount of experience under his belt. Just help these guys going forward just a little bit.
It's Hartford once again being patient in their build-up. It's flicked along, and now some space opening up. Here comes Hartford forward again. And it looks like the referee, Danielle Chesky, will bring play back, and a free kick coming for Hartford on the left.
Benufemu tugging at that left shoulder as his when he got tied up on the far side of the field. As the two do battle, there's another rotation out. Speed troubling the back line of Bethlehem Steel so far. Sebastian Dalgaard, as we mentioned, getting his first start in quite some time, still trying to make his way back into match fitness. Don't be surprised if he comes off in 65, 70 minutes. Had about 25 last week versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
He's able to score a goal in that match as well. Now here's the set piece opportunity. It's Ryan Williams standing over it again. It's Danielle Chesky sorting things out. Here's Williams. Going to get it by the first blue jersey. Maybe another opportunity here for Hartford. And nothing doing there for Bethlehem on the attempted counter. Now Hartford coming forward again. Been on the front foot, you'd have to say, here early on. A good opportunity for Bethlehem and Zach Zandy. That's about it here in this first 15 minutes.
Keep an eye on the rotation and formation. Obviously, it's a fluid movement for Bethlehem Steel, the way that they're utilizing their two boys up top, really tucking the second one back in to help out the midfield play, where just now Shivani Willis was up top. You're seeing Schneider Borgelin starting to tuck in. Even James Chambers playing a very high line and just overloading the middle. They do not want Hartford Athletic to find Ryan Williams, Matt Jargensen. That was the few looks you saw in the opening 10 where they were able to work it out and then find the channel play as well. And now the boys in blue just starting to counteract that a little bit. Some tactics at play early on.
There's Cole Turner in the middle. Both teams have been very patient early on. When these two teams faced off up in Hartford on June the 28th, it was a 3-0 win for Bethlehem Steel. Ferris, Issa Rian, and Walter Cortez getting the 3 goals on that day. The ball goes out for a Bethlehem throw. Here's Cole Turner. He gets pushed to the ground. Bedoya. Bethlehem will play it quick. Here's Rayan. Now Turner. Maybe something building. And the shot well high. And on that occasion from Bethlehem.
Something that won't show up on the stats sheet is the step here by Cole Turner. Remember, this is a kid who has the capability of playing on the back line as a center back or in the holding midfielder position. Does a really good job of just taking those 2-3 quick steps And then the outlet pass to Shivani Willis, always going to be a difficult one as this first touch bounces up and launches it up over the bar.
Cole Turner verbally committed to the Naval Academy. He had an assist as well in that match against Hartford back at the end of June. So decision coming for Cole Turner. This will go out for a goal kick. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. "18 minutes gone, and we've seen that pressure from that Bethlehem top line. Borgelin and Willis. We've mostly seen Hartford come forward in the attack. Here's Dixon. Distributes wide. Now here's Karinga. The cross in is headed away. Cortez goes past the touchline for a Hartford throw. They're asking Brendan Burke about Walter Cortez, and couldn't have said more nice things about him. A bright spot, and the quote that really stuck out to me was he'd eat the person in front of him to get what he wants.
It's funny, the one-on-one matchups. You saw some looks at the offensive side early on this year. And defensively, could you find the balance? That's the big question. And as the season has gone on, I'll just say that the leadership that he started to employ at such a young age for the Costa Rican has become such a bright light. You get the opportunity to stand next to guys like Matt Real. Talked about his experience already. I'm sure they've matched up against each other at their youth levels. And now you get to have some fun going forward. You saw what he's capable of. The wonder strike against Lou City. But he's really hard to break down on the defensive side of the ball. Great 1v1 defender. The speed, always a talking point. But the tactfulness of what he's able to do with or without the ball at his feet and tracking players back. That's one of the bright spots for him.
Here's Turner now. Cortez will try to keep it in. Knocked around. Here's Zandy. He gets tripped up just on the edge of the area. The shot hits the post. But what will this be? Well, we'll see what the decision is from Danielle Chesky. It looks like she's pointing to the spot. Is this a penalty for Bethlehem? It looks like it is. Jimmy Nielsen can't believe it.
She was pointing, by the way. Keep an eye on the second challenge, not the first. Just to be clear here, because the first one is outside the box. If she's going for the second one, then we have an issue with the referee. She does not want to hear it, and that's fine. Referee's made the decision. The initial one comes about 3 feet outside the box. That's the argument. So when you dive deeper, watch the move. When does it come? Lovely rotation back across by Bethlehem Steel. Zach Zandy looking for the 1-2. There's the initial foul. Is the second one coming all the way back across when you get the overlapping run of Walter Cortez? That's the concern. This is obviously well outside of the box. It's the second one as you track back through. That's the one that she might be going after. Don't necessarily agree with it. Regardless, opportunity for Bethlehem Steel.
And that shot by Cortez hit the post. So we nearly put one in the back of the net, but now Bethlehem will have a better opportunity here. And it looks like it's James Chambers against Douay in goal. Bethlehem 4 for 4 on penalty kicks this season. So here is James Chambers against Frederick Douay. Bethlehem have not missed a penalty this season. Chambers, and it's saved! The first miss of the season for Bethlehem, but the flag goes up by the AR, and we might have a retake. We've seen a lot of this summer, and it's coming up again here tonight.
They're now going at the AR on the far sideline. Flag comes up, meaning that Douay left the line early. How frustrating is this if you're a Hartford Athletic player? Broadcaster's curse coming in with the miss on Bethlehem Steel.
Never fails.
You can hear the coaching staff on the near sideline just not happy with the decision in the opening 23 minutes here by the refereeing staff. This is one of the new rules that they've come in where if both feet leave, it's going to be an automatic card. Get a better look. Duet. James Chambers steps up. It's a rough angle there. You can see his foot plant. Keep an eye on both feet. If both feet come off, and yes, referee staff gets it right. This is something they're starting to enforce more.
Chambers again, and it's saved and off the post. Oh my goodness, Duet, 2 saves on 2 penalties.
And Jimmy Nielsen telling us how skilled this young man was. A guy who got regular reps within the Danish Superliga. Talent had dropped off a little bit only because the repetitions weren't there. Saves the first one. Benefactor of a yellow card. Let's go back to back here. Lovely save. Watch the left hand diving to his right. Momentum coming down. Still able to reach back up and get a touch on it. And oh, by the way, a kiss from the woodwork to help him out.
What a moment, or 2 moments, in this match here early on, as we're about midway now through this first half. But Frederick Duet coming up with 2 massive saves, and it's got to be such a mental game as we're going to get another yellow card. It looks like Karinga will go into the book.
Jimmy Nielsen right in. The referees here has to make sure keeps a grasp on this match. A lot of emotions running high right now, and all of it will come back to the penalty, of course. I think most people are thinking about the first challenge, when in fact it was probably the second. We'll circumvent that in just a little bit. And now the foul right in front of the manager. Explanation from the referee as to exactly why the card's brandished here. It is a foul by Kyle Karinga, and you just wonder, it's the first one opening 25 minutes by him. Is it necessary? A rough challenge, up to the judgment of the center referee. Goes that way sometimes.
So a whole lot here in this past 5 minutes. But we stay at 0-0 after 2 saves from Frederick Duet on 2 penalty kicks from James Chambers. It's such a mental game too with that second penalty. Here's Rayan though. His cross is deflected out for a corner kick. Because you have that yellow card already to your name, and 1 more of those and you're gone.
You nailed it on the head, and not even addressing the fact that the striker has already shown you 1 look. So
right.
The mental game of, okay, which way are we going to go now? I can tell you that I was one of the gentlemen on the field that regularly got an opportunity to hit those, whether it be in extra time or from the regular run of play. I had a favorite spot. If I was in that spot, I would want to go back to the same situation just like James Chambers did. Great save by Duet.
Here's Rial, right into the middle, a good ball in. This will go all the way through. Chambers will try to keep it in, but to no avail. A goal kick coming for Hartford.
There is a bit of a different placement by James Chambers. One a bit lower than the other. Duet able to get both of them regardless. And how does the confidence now shake up for Bethlehem Steel?
And Chambers is that guy for Bethlehem who has played a lot of soccer in his day. Plenty of time overseas in Ireland. So he's really the experienced pro in this group amongst a lot of young talent in this Bethlehem team. Duet puts it back in play. So now how will Hartford react to that? But so far, ever since, it's been Bethlehem on the attack, and here they come again. Here's Rayan. Borgelin in the middle, Willis as well. They'll lay it back for Bizo. There's Matt Rial. Rial being very patient. Here's Chambers now. Long diagonal switch. Flicked ahead. Here's Issa Rayan. He has some teammates there. Sandy is saved by Duet again. Frederick Douay coming up big on multiple occasions so far today.
This is all about placement of where this ball is played. Shivani Willis on the first time not available. Fortunately enough, the trailing run at the top of the 18, well done by Bethlehem Steel to institute the training ground movements. Even before that, it was off.
And now here's Alex Dixon. A chance for Hartford back into the middle, and it's in! It's a goal for Hartford Athletic. Daniel Butoh, the Colombian, puts the away side up first.
Daniel Butoh doing a good job being patient on this. Alex Dixon keeps the back line second guessing against the run of play. Ball gets turned over, and a chance to use some of this momentum provided by Douay, the goalkeeper. Saves back-to-back from the penalty, and then the one just before at the top of the box. Great step by Nicky Downs. Keep an eye on Alex Dixon. Makes Benufemu question as to which way he's going to go. Will it be in a one-on-one situation or cut it back across? But Butoh had the classiest of touches with the outside of the right foot and then buries it in the bottom corner.
His first goal on the season for Hartford Athletic, and they have the advantage. Who would have thought that after 2 penalty opportunities for Bethlehem? It is Hartford Athletic to take the lead here with an opening goal. So now we'll see how Bethlehem respond. Ever since that penalty, it was a lot of Bethlehem coming forward, and Hartford get an interception and then a goal.
Some of it just off base a little bit, coming out of Shivani Willis, where there's the good build-up play. He's got the overlapping run from Saran, and unfortunately, it's just a little tactful pass meant for possession. Needed to put it out in front of the speedster so that he could take it with his momentum and really challenge the back line. Instead, makes him second guess himself. And on the secondary rotation, same thing as this ball gets played back across. Shivani Willis has the opportunity to have it played into his feet, one-time it, instead it goes behind him. And yes, it's a good job by Bethlehem Steel getting the second chance off, but it's from distance. Have an opportunity from 6-8 yards out. Instead, they're hitting it right around the top of the 18, make it that much easier for the goalkeeper.
And Hartford, they have scored a decent amount of goals here. As of late, 9 goals in the last 4 matches coming in, now 10-5. They have battled back from early deficits in 3 of the last 4 matches. But today, they will be the ones playing from the front.
You and I talked about this coming in, that 17 out of 22 matches their opponent has scored first. That is an uphill battle that is always going to be an issue. And said that in order for them to have success, did we need them to score early on? Not necessarily, but they wanted to stay relevant. Don't let the other team get in front of you.
And a penalty shout. And what will it be? It looks like it's just outside the area this time, and a yellow card will be issued to Olivier Bizo.
Hartford Athletic able to thwart off the penalty shouts on one end. They get their goal, and they're going for another. Sebastian Dalgaard, no lack of confidence coming back from injury. Look at that speed. All the way around the outside of Olivier Bizo. He is not slow, folks. That's a fun battle to watch going forward. And now we start to play the angles game from this distance, and the way the trajectory plays out, quite difficult to have a strike direct on Todd Morton. Not saying that it's not possible, but you set up 2, possibly 3. You see the goalkeeper getting his troops organized in front of him. Jorgensen, if anybody can hit it, he can. What a strike we saw just a few matches ago. Does he go direct?
Here's Jorgensen stepping up. He does. It was deflected, and it will be a corner kick. He was not afraid of that, though.
Had a beautiful goal against the Charleston battery from the set piece. There's another look. So difficult from here to get it up and down and then also challenge it. The goalkeeper has the luxury of the wall and the way the directional ball will play out.
Here's a corner here from Hartford. They'll take it short. Here's Dixon. Towards the top of the box. Jorgensen takes it on. It's saved by Morton. Here's the rebound, pushed aside. 2 good opportunities. A corner kick straight off the training ground. It nearly resulted in a second goal, and now a foul from Saran. Really starting to heat up here for Hartford.
Jorgensen on the set piece, and then how about the quick one? They've obviously practiced this before. Nice little touch by Williams. Dixon waits for the space to develop. No one steps up top as this ball gets sprayed back across. Really great job by Nicky Downs to put this on frame. Sky high, and still has the ability to get his body up over the top and go after Todd Morton.
This game has all of a sudden opened up, especially for Hartford after a slow start. Now it's Bethlehem chasing that equalizing goal. Here comes Bethlehem now forward. Shivani Willis. Borgelin is there as well. It's a foot race here. The shot, and it's just wide. A good run from Willis. But the shot just not on target.
Some of the maturity from Shivani Willis. Have to cock your head and second guess a little bit. Love the move here. Semdevit plays the angles, and that's fine. And just, do you wait here, go for the back post strike? That's a difficult one. This is always going to be higher on the Richter scale of difficulty. You have the trailing back post run. You've also got Zach Zandy, who was waiting at the top of the 18 with a bit of momentum behind him. As his experience continues to grow, you'll have a chance to look up and pick out your players a bit more appropriately.
There was Dixon again, but Matt Rial, a big play to clear it away. It looks like this will be a throw-in. So here's that window we were kind of talking about for Hartford. Now it's, can they extend that into the second half for the rest of this first half? We'll see how they react here after going ahead. It's taken away. And the foul looks like that was Butoh. And back to Bethlehem it goes. But Bethlehem just 1-10-3 when conceding first, and 0-6-3 at home. That has not boded well for them this season. We'll see if they can flip the script here tonight. A cheap foul there from Lee. A set piece opportunity now for Bethlehem.
Olivier Bizo, and his teammates asking for some support. No one checking to him. And with this direction, Real walking over. We know we haven't seen it before. Wondrous left foot. Of course, James Chambers and shocking Walter Cortez based upon what he's done recently to the defending champs, Lou City. Of course, you do have the big bodies coming up from the back line. Manu Femu on the back post. Schneider Borgelin up there as well. Those guys approaching the 6'4" mark.
Rial is standing over it, and he will take into the 18. It's kept in here by Bethlehem. There's Bizo now. Now it's wide. See what they can do here. Chambers. A good ball in. Opportunity here for Bethlehem. Hartford, good job clearing their lines. There's Bizo again. Cortez now. Stingy defensive play here from Hartford. And it looks like Nicky Downs got a little bit too much of the leg. They have the Bethlehem player. Another free kick, this time from the other side. It's Cortez and Bizo standing over this one.
Just keep an eye on Zach Zandy playing hide and seek behind the two-man wall. There's an option down in the corner if they want to use it.
Bizo clips it in, and pretty easy for Due right there at the top of the 6. And let's see if they try to go quickly, as Due has it taken out from his hands, and then some pushing. We'll see how Danielle Chesky reacts to this.
There's definitely some retaliation here by backside of Alex Davey. Just lending a hand to Benufemo, helping him to the ground. If you keep an eye, there's no malintent here by Ofemu as he's coming outside of the box. He's not chasing the goalkeeper down. To be fair, Due over his back shoulder, doesn't look to see where he's at. This is the quick little movement. Further review, it's a bit different there. He steps in front a bit. Alex Davey making friends. Nice to introduce himself. Probably would have reacted in the same manner.
Things sorted out. The yellow card to Ben Ofemu.
At least you know they're capable of being neighborly. Maybe not borrow a cup of sugar, but always nice to extend an olive branch.
So now 2 yellow cards to the Bethlehem back line. And Bizo and now Ofemu. We'll see if that changes what Brennan Burke wants to do in terms of substitutions come the second half. Due puts it back in play. An opportunity maybe for Hartford. The referee will bring play back to that initial foul. They're just trading set pieces now at this point.
This is really well done by the referee, though, to allow the advantage to play on. There's 2 challenges in the middle of the field. Second one on Alex Dixon. And instead, referee lets the offensive press continue on until it breaks down, and now a chance. Jorgensen must be licking his lips. The way that he's striking the ball recently. Goals in back-to-back games. And we've seen twice so far his willingness to have a go from distance. Smart by the goalkeeper, and James Chambers recognized, yeah, maybe we need one more in this wall here. With so much power behind the Dane and what he can do from long range.
All of his goals have been from outside the box this season. Here's Jorgensen again. He takes it on, it hits the wall, deflected up in the air, and Morton able to claim it. Nearing halftime here in Chester, Pennsylvania. As Hartford got on the score sheet in the 28th minute through Daniel Butoh on the assist from Alex Dixon. After a scenario with 2 missed penalty kicks from Bethlehem Steel, both saved by the goalkeeper Frederick Due. That's where we stand here after 40 minutes, nearing halftime. It's a bit of a slow start, but things have definitely picked up since that penalty a few moments ago. It's a match that hasn't lacked physicality as well. Here's Matt Rial. Borgelin. Not sure what he was trying for there. Off the side of his foot. Push in the back there from Cole Turner. We'll give it back to Hartford.
Hartford just slow things down here. It's been end-to-end stuff, even with the stoppages. Just calm it down. 5 minutes to go before halftime. Collect your thoughts, maintain your lead. You can grab one more opportunity, great. Well done by Sem DeVitt. Just catch his breath, allow his boys to recompose themselves.
DeVitt puts it back into play. Dixon will try to keep it in play. He does. Once again, that pressure being shown by that front line of Bethlehem. Saran gets it taken away from him. Here's Lee now. Looking for Karinga as it goes out of play. So something left in this first half for Bethlehem. Really changed the complexion of this match going into halftime. You can find something here in the last few moments. As Turner gets it wide. Here's Butoh. Some step overs, trying to get by Lee, shoulder to shoulder, and a good challenge. And Butoh will stay down as is played out. He is still down after that challenge. The left back Raymond Lee.
And Raymond Lee just employing some of his bigger stature here. Some referees might blow you there, but the shoulder-to-shoulder charge when Butoh comes back across the overextended arm is probably what would have gotten him in trouble. Neither the linesman nor center referee had an issue with it and let him play on. One of the few times that we've seen that occurrence in the first half.
Celebrating its 10th episode, U.S. soccer legend Landon Donovan and USL San Diego co-owner Warren Smith join Steal Some Time, hosted by Kelsey Steele and Scott Stewart. Get insight on USL's newest club while catching up on all the latest around the league. Listen on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe today to Steal Some Time. We're right at the end of this first half here at Talon Energy Stadium. Here's Real. Butoh back to his feet, but goes out of play. A throw in now for Hartford Athletic. See how much stoppage time we get here at the end of this first 45 minutes. It will be 3 minutes of stoppage time. So still plenty of time left for one of these teams to make a mark on this first half. If you're Hartford, make more of a mark. Turner now. Here's James Chambers. Butoh. Now for Rayan. A collision there in the corner, and it will go out. And it will be a corner kick for Bethlehem Steel.
An opportunity for the home squad to grab an equalizer just before half. See the two-man game down in the corner once again, and they've gone direct, trying to get the gentleman with the height underneath them an opportunity. There's a lot of space in the middle of the box right now.
Here's Matt Real to swing it in. Dewey comes off his line to punch it away. Cortez puts it back in, and it's headed back out. Maybe a chance to counter here for Hartford. It's taken away by Borgelin. Now Turner. Here's Zandy. Wide for Real. Maybe in his more natural wide position now. That was Rayan. Here's Zandy. Another shout for penalty maybe as Borgelin goes down. Stays with it. Swung back in looking for Chambers at the back post. We're through about 2 minutes of the minimum of 3. Here's Turner now. Flips it forward, but nobody there, and Dewey collects.
Really good defending by Kyle Karinga on the far post run here as this ball gets whipped back across. If he lets it go over his shoulder, there's a trailing run by Bethlehem Steel. If he clears it horizontally across his body, comes right back into the box. He manages to get the tiniest of touches and flick it over his shoulder and still push it away from all the offensive movements coming out of Bethlehem Steel.
Here's Jorgensen. Hartford Athletic, got to be feeling pretty good about yourselves right now. A lead on the road. We're just about at halftime. It was really against the run of play, you could say, with Bethlehem charging forward with those 2 attempts on penalty kicks and 2 saves by the goalkeeper, Frederick Douay. There's the final whistle here in this first half. Daniel Chesky blows it dead. And there is the goal scorer. Daniel Butoh, his first goal on the season, gives Hartford the lead going into halftime. And there are the 2 men. Douay on the right, Chambers on the right, or excuse me, on the left. With those penalty attempts. It should be an interesting second half upcoming.
A really impressive opening 45 minutes by the visitors. It's truly the best we've seen them over the past 2 months in that first half. Hartford Athletic did well against Nashville and against Indy. The problem is can they now follow it up into a second repetition with it's a full 90 minutes? They've really struggled with that. Bethlehem Steel, unfortunately, could not convert from the spot. I promise you, Brendan Burke will regroup the troops and have them ready to go in the second half.
We'll see what happens in the second 45. We'll recap all of that plus more halftime here on ESPN+. Some cool footage here with the MLS and Adidas partnership with the German FA on an academy goalkeeper course. And some players went over, and including Phil Wedden, who is the goalkeeper coach for Bethlehem Steel.
Pretty amazing stuff. The DFB got an opportunity to host some of these guys. Week-long educational course. They did tacticals and really broke everything down. Amazing world-class training, immersive development course. And for me, to give you an idea of, I promise you, Ernst Tanner, the sporting director of Philadelphia Union, coming over from Red Bull Salzburg, had his hands in this. And it's a position in the United States that we take great pride in. You look at the great ones, Tony Miola, Casey Keller, of course, Tim Howard's going to be in there, and Brad Friedel, and what they've done at a global stage. It's one position that the United States obviously has a say in it when it comes to world football. Some great youngsters that people have come to know, like some Ethan Horvath, Espn, guys getting repetitions for the national squad, starting with American clubs, now moving overseas. But how about some of the younger ones like Jonathan Klinsmann? That is Jürgen Klinsmann's son. He's with Hertha Berlin, getting repetitions for the U23s. And now Brady Squat, FC Köln, he's the goalkeeper for the U20s. Bravest player on the field? I don't know if I agree with that. Probably the craziest player on the field for most of the guys that I grew up with. But what an experience for these youngsters to travel across the pond, not just to get the training, but coaching at the next level. It's continuing on the culture that the United States is looking to develop. And what an amazing thing for not just MLS, but specifically for the Bethlehem Steel and the Philadelphia Union organization, for their players and coaches to get repetitions across the pond.
Absolutely. 2 players from the Philadelphia Union Academy as well. Goalkeepers Lucas Burns and Connor Cresswell went over, and Phil Wedden, plenty to say about how nice of an experience this was for everybody who was there. And definitely, as you were saying, a great opportunity for a lot of these young goalkeepers trying to come up through the ranks. So it's halftime here from Chester, Pennsylvania. It's 1-0 to Hartford Athletic, the road side. Now let's go check out what's going on around the USL Championship.
Now get some time, Sam Warner, the beauty. From distance, on the way and in! Goal, Las Vegas Lights! And Taylor with a beautiful strike. Are you kidding? It will go for goal! Oh my goodness!
Gents, hey, keep moving forward here. I feel like we're close, but it's all about the process. Make sure you're doing the little things right.
It's part of the community. I think it's not a mistake that you drive anywhere in the city and you'll see the, the red Kickers K. I was certainly honored to play for the club and understand it's just a part of the city.
We're the longest continuously run professional soccer team in the country, which is pretty cool. We had Charleston Battery beat by one day. We played on a Friday night. In '93, they played on a Saturday. We take great pride in that.
There's a really good structure in place, and there has been a really good structure in place for a long time now, even from when I was back here as a youth player. The coaching staff, the culture, the way things are done at the Kickers is at the highest level. Everyone's committed, everyone's 100% in.
We have a really strong locker room and everybody really wants to do well for the club, and they believe in me and believe in the club and respect the history that we have as a club. So it's been a lot of fun so far, just kind of getting this group together.
Their look at the Richmond Kickers in USL League One, just down the road here from Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's get in some news and notes from around the USL Championship, as was 1-0 to Hartford Athletic, and rising into the record books. Phoenix Rising keeps it going, and right here with Hartford Athletic, they will host the Puerto Rican national team on August 17th.
This was a massive story coming out of USL Championship. Hats off to Hartford Athletic. All the proceeds will benefit the hurricane relief. Lovely movement coming from the team in the Northeast. Wednesday night soccer, Las Vegas Lights. Can Eric Winaldo's boys recover and travel to Papa Murphy's Park, a place that has proved over the years really difficult to break down? Some NLA squad, though, they've been struggling as well. Phoenix Rising, 11 games, 33 points, no apologies necessary.
And here are some matches coming up in the Eastern Conference. Plenty of games with playoff implications. That game in the top left should be pretty interesting.
Red Bull 2, St. Louis FC finally back in the win column. Lou City going on the road to Charlotte Independence. Charlotte Independence were unbeaten in 10 games.
Wow.
That is a massive number. 9 under Mike Jeffries. Lou City struggling a little bit, providing themselves options, just haven't been able to get it. I like this one. North Carolina FC, Indy 11. That is a tasty one in the Eastern Conference. There you get a look at that's numbers 3 and 4. Also saw that the Charleston Battery had a fun little matchup in there. The Tampa Bay Rowdies still sitting atop. They have been the horses from start to finish, and they go wire to wire. We'll see if that plays out.
Now let's take a look at the Western Conference standings. It's still Phoenix rising up top, but Reno right there, but a few more games played for them as well.
Reno had a 5-game win streak. Fresno had a 5-game win streak, and stop me if you've heard this before, Real Monarchs had a 5-game win streak. All 3 of those came to a close recently. Really like what Austin Bold has been able to do, remaining relevant even after Phoenix Rising put a whooping on them, 6-0 for Phoenix at Dollar Bill night. Austin Bold came back, took down Fresno FC. They occupy the final home playoff spot as we speak.
So one more break as we are halftime here between Hartford Athletic and Bethlehem Steel. It's 1-0 to the away side. Highlights and second half coming up next here on ESPN+. Back here at Talon Energy Stadium, 1-0, Hartford Athletic leads Bethlehem Steel. Let's show you how it happened here in this first half. With some first half highlights, a slow start to this one, but it picked up. But let's take a look here at Hartford Athletic coming forward early on in this first half.
Some really pretty play coming out of the midfield by Jorgensen. We saw the strikes from distance, but his distribution much better here. Love the movement by Daniel Bedoya, allowing himself to at least try and get something off here. That would have been goal of the week worthy all day if it ends up in the back of the net. It does not. Push it the other way. Controversial. Everybody thinks that this foul is the immediate one. Keep an eye on the second challenge, though, as this comes back through. There's the first one. Second one coming all the way back across. There is a trailing run here. No, it does not always have to be made contact. There can be intent. Referee points to the spot. Save. No, get back on the line. You left early. Yellow card for Dewey coming off. They said this year they were going to enforce it much more. He's the first recipient in the USL Championship. But hey, guess what? I got it right the first time. Ball don't lie. James Chambers to his left again. Dewey, second save. Very well done by the goalkeeper.
And this might have sparked something going forward for Hartford Athletic because moments later, they find one in the back of the net.
Lovely press, and this is something that Hartford has gotten much better at as the season has gone on. Difficult to start away from home, but as soon as they come back, they've trained harder on it. You see the little press on the side by Dickie Downs, little touch in. Alex Dixon gets the trailing run to the back post. First goal in a Hartford Athletic uniform by Daniel Bedoya. Let's go the other way. What can it be? This is the decision-making I'm talking about. The strike to the far post is going to be a difficult one. You don't have to play it as the square ball, but there's a trailing run to the top of the 18 in the likes of Zach Zandy. They don't go after it. They don't get the goal. It's down 1-0 at halftime. A lot of cards in the first half, 4 to be exact, starting and stopping, but there were still some pretty movements from both squads. Really like the energy that we saw. The referee started to calm the game down a little bit. Conversations at halftime from Jimmy Nielsen do not have self-imposed mistakes. They turned the ball over unnecessarily too many times. The Bethlehem Steel went the other way. Brendan Burke on the other side of things. He's going to like the energy from his squad. But again, when they get into the final third, has to be better decision making.
And you just saw the board come up. It is Nathan Harriel coming on, and it is Olivier Bizo coming out. He picked up a yellow card in the 31st minute. Ben Ofemu picked one up in the 38th. Both of them on the back line, so I think Brendan Burke playing a little bit cautious, not wanting to pick up a second yellow.
Olivier Bizo had a nice whack about 5 minutes to go until the end of the first half as well. So just making sure that they don't over-push the youngster. It feels like we've been saying his name forever, but you have to realize he's just at the early part of his 20s. And now Nathan Harriel would just go into that outside back position. Really like the trio on that right side. Bizo first, now Harriel, of course. Saran up there and Shivani Willis.
So the teams will switch sides. Looks like the sun coming out a little bit as well in Chester, Pennsylvania. We are underway here in the second half. It's 1-0 to the away side. But can Bethlehem Steel find a result at home? They haven't done so this season when conceding first. So a lot of questions will be asked of them here in this second 45 minutes as they try to get above that playoff line, and a win tonight would do just that.
Shows you how bright of a start this team had this year, where yes, they've struggled over the past 6-7 matches, but have still found a way to remain relevant in the Eastern Conference. Part of this growing process where 2018 they sneak into the number 8 spot, lose in the first round to Lou City. Move a bit higher in the rankings come the close of the 2018 season. Find a way to get the penalty shootout victory on the road at Highmark Stadium against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and then meet a familiar foe in the likes of Lou City. Felt like the progression was going to continue the way that they started, but the way that the organization has started to play things out, they really want to pump experience into these young players. That's why you're seeing so many 15, 16, 17, even 18-year-olds making repetitions on a regular basis for the boys in blue. And the results haven't necessarily been there, but over time, you're starting to see them get better decision-making, more fruitful down the line, but now can they put it all together?
Now they're building an attack here early in this second half. Sandy looking for Willis now. Chambers asking for it, he gets it. Distributes wide. A cross in, looking for the back post. A shout for a penalty, and there it is. The third time tonight, Bethlehem will have a penalty kick, and it looks like a handball, but Danielle Chesky may be checking with the AR. The initial call was a handball and a penalty. Here's another look.
Little rotation out. Walter Cortez, that left foot of his, as this comes back across. That's off the back of the head. This is off the backside of the head of Raymond Lee. Neither of the arms there, and then boom, that is square on the back of his skull. Saran trying to knock it back across. Danielle Chesky having a conversation with the AR right now. Referee points to the spot, and they have pulled the penalty away. Now you just wonder if they get it wrong. Is Bethlehem still going to go after this? Or are they going to do the Sportsman thing and knock it back to him?
A drop ball scenario, you don't really see these a whole lot. It's an interesting spot for it as well. Chambers and Lee. Chesky was just waiting to put the ball back in play. It's almost like a jump ball right in the area, as Bethlehem Steel will keep it here. Here's Harriel now. Back for Chambers. Looking for some space to get a cross away, and it's headed out. Now all the way by Hartford. So a mini crisis averted there by Hartford Athletic, and that could have been a big-time mistake by the referee.
Great job by the crew, though, to have a conversation and say, okay, tell me what you see from your viewpoint. They tailor their expectations on what it is going to be going forward. They got it wrong.
And here's Dalgaard, a good run. Dalgaard looking for a second goal in as many weeks, and he just couldn't put it on frame. Great build-up play by Hartford Athletic once again, but the final product is not there.
Some rust coming back in for Sebastian Dalgaard. We talked about him coming back from that quad injury. The speed, still there as a main focal point for him. Lovely little cutback. Whoop, sorry about that. Benufemu, pay attention, buddy.
And it's Hartford Athletic who have added a second goal here at Talon Energy Stadium. It's 2-0 to the away side, and nothing going right for Bethlehem Steel.
Everybody going to the group. Paying dividends for Alex Dixon, who gets on the end of this. We immediately just talked about what the ball was going to be like on the response. Good ball back in, dissects the back line. Benufemu once again just cuts caught out. This isn't the best strike by Dixon. To be fair, Todd Morton should have done better with this. Tucks it inside the far post. And the center back, Benufemu, just cuts caught ball watching once again. Alex Dixon doesn't care. 3 on the air for that young man.
Coming off a season where he had 11 with OKC. As you mentioned, adding his 3rd goal in the season, and now it's a big-time uphill climb for Bethlehem Steel as they try to find a result with 40 minutes to go at home. Maybe a bit of a surprise for Bethlehem Steel. But after that really tough start for Hartford Athletic to this season, they've started to turn in some more positive results, and this one, if they can hold it, would be a big-time road win. Here's Harriel now. We've seen a lot of deflections here in this back line, and Hartford has poached a few of them. Here's Cortez. Now Chambers. Forward. It's brought down by Willis. Borgelin was in the middle. And now it's cleared away. Zandy on it now. Back for Chambers. Clipped forward again. Willis couldn't control. Hartford looking to clear again. It goes out for a goal kick.
This is a great look from Bethlehem Steel where they invert their outside winger and the likes of Walter Cortez, who's making the run up from the back line. Cole Turner occupies his position. And some of that technical ability we talked about from the Costa Rican on full display. Nice little touches in and around the box.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Bethlehem Steel, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Bethlehem Steel's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Hartford maybe pushing forward for a 3rd here. Would you call this a surprise?
The way the two teams have been playing recently, I wouldn't call it a surprise. I'm a bit shocked that Hartford Athletic was able to get on the board so early, both in the 1st and in the 2nd. That's something that has not been their MO recently. We said if they wanted to change things up, they had to find a way to remain relevant. And they've always been within striking distance in previous matches, but always fighting the uphill battle. Not the case tonight. They get the great goal by Bedoya in the 28th minute, and now Alex Dixon strikes in the 50th. Can't ask for much more there. And now can you just stay the course? Steady the ship and make sure that everything's tailored.
There's Jorgensen. Never afraid to let it rip from deep.
With a team like Bethlehem Steel, you can't let your guard down for a moment. Team carries so much ability. And yes, they can flow in and out of games. But they're one team that can always strike. And the venom comes in so many different forms. We've seen it from Shivani Willis, and on the right side, Zach Zandy a few times, and even James Chambers has got involved in the runs going forward.
Here's Zandy now. And he trips up the Hartford player. And a free kick going back the other way. So right out of halftime, Hartford able to get on the score sheet through Alex Dixon. And now maybe another opportunity. This time a great save by Todd Morton, saving a third goal potentially there for Hartford.
Dalgaard can't believe it. That's two in the span of about 5 minutes where he is not able to close things out. Of course, the second one made its way back around for Alex Dixon. One-on-one, trying to meg the goalkeeper. This is really well done by Morton coming off of his line. It gives you an idea of the talent level as well. First appearance on the season, only been able to move on the training ground, but stepped up when needed.
Now a corner kick here for Hartford. Danielle Chesky will have a quick conversation before this set piece. Looks like she is talking with Shivani Willis. And it looks like now we are ready. Right into the middle, Morton off his line and makes a nice catch. Todd Morton on his first day on the job with Bethlehem Steel, his first appearance of the season. Looking to hold Hartford where they're at right now, hoping his team can find some goals. Here's Harriel. And DeVitt will clear that away, a throw in now.
5 games running now for Hartford Athletic where they've scored a goal in the opening 15 minutes of the second half. We always said that they were going to have a lot of energy coming out of the locker room, but could they find a way to get a quick start? They do it tonight. First goal, grab a second one now.
And there's Dewey getting that into his grasp.
I promise you Jimmy Nielsen is going to have a conversation with his brain trust, go after some of the boys that have been in situations like this before. Sebastian Dalgaard, Alex Dixon, Raymond Lee. 2 of them are on the near sideline on the left for him. And just feel like maybe there's a bit of blood in the water. Can we go after and get a third?
But Bethlehem still looking for their first. Flip forward again, looking for Borgelin. But without Ferris in there, their leading goal scorer, this will be an uphill battle for sure, definitely for Bethlehem. And Brennan Burke said it when talking about Hartford. He said we'd have to be almost perfect defensively, and I don't think they have quite been too perfect today.
Well, the issue for them has been silly mistakes, kind of the opportunity to clear things out, and they haven't done so. You've seen that from Hartford Athletic, where sometimes there's these offensive pushes coming from the steal, and instead of trying to maintain possession, they just knock it 40, 50 yards down the field and then reset their shape. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But then in turn, your opportunities in the final third have to find a way to close things out. They've had a few. Just poor decision-making down the stretch. That's what we've addressed already.
And for Zandy, couldn't quite bring it in. Dewey comes away with it. Maybe Hartford will look to go quickly here. It's Willis chasing Bedoya. Slight push in the back will bring play back. And a substitution coming. It'll be Axel Picasso coming on, while Schneider Borgelin will make way. Picasso made his debut against Nashville. He's made a few other substitution appearances. Borgelin's day is done.
They've started to push him much higher, not like Shivani Willis, as this is a very offensive-minded player, but he was used out on the wings a lot. And now an opportunity with Bethlehem Steel, guy earlier on this season. Actually started off with the Lone Star Academy out of Texas. Spent preseason with the Bethlehem Steel Philadelphia Union in Clearwater. It's one of those guys that you hear it so often. Repetitions at the national level for the U16s and 18s.
Now here's Dalgaard in the corner. Now Lee. Cross in. There's nobody there at the back post in a white jersey. It's Cortez trying to bring it out himself. He's able to keep possession.
Notice the inability to find the runner in the middle of the field, though. Does a good job working the high line and then has to go negative. And they turn the ball over once again, and they've compacted themselves into a 40-yard span where even when they do hit the release valve, there's no one there in support to help out those runs streaking forward.
Here comes Hartford. Butoh again. He's looking for Dixon, couldn't quite find him. Now Dalgaard in the middle. Wide for Lee. Now it's Dixon, some room to work. Lays it off for his teammate. And it's high, but a good opportunity. And once again, good build-up play by Hartford Athletic. Substitution now coming for Hartford, the first of the day. Vucic coming on. And it will be Sebastian Dalgaard coming off, as you said, 60 minutes in.
I'm not surprised. Again, still trying to find his way into game fitness. And with Watch coming on now, expect to see a rotation in the likes of either Daniel Butoh or Alex Dixon out onto the wing. Of course, they'll use Vucic as the point man up top, play off of him. The space that they felt like under Jimmy Nielsen has turned out to be quite lucrative for them.
Vucic, 2 goals, 3 assists this season. Played his college soccer at Bradley. Chambers now distributes wide. Looking for Zandy. Go past the touchline for a Hartford throw.
That Bradley class back in 2010 was pretty impressive. Some pretty decent names coming out. One notably, a guy who's had some fun in the Western Conference, Aiden Quinn. Actually set the school record for assists that year. Of course, he would then go on to play at Akron, and Vucic was the benefactor of a lot of those balls being sprayed forward.
Here's Ofemu bringing it forward. Wide for Harriel, and out for a Bethlehem throw. There have not been too many dangerous moments, though, for Bethlehem here tonight. Mostly just shouts for penalties. Here's Harriel now. Towards the near post, but Butoh off his line. And he'll distribute quickly. Dixon, maybe a chance to chase. A foot race with Real. Real will win it using the angle. Big collision right in the middle. As Karinga now goes down. And the tackle from Zandy, and he will go into the book. A yellow card to Zach Zandy.
The rough challenge just before it, as well with Walter Cortez and Ryan Williams. Second ball sprays back outside. There's the one we just talked about. And Zach Zandy going to ground here, and Kyle Karinga, that right ankle. Something that Karinga struggled with over the past few seasons. Opportunity with Tampa Rowdies last year, and it just didn't really take shape with all the injuries he piled up. Opportunity to chat with him earlier this year, said his confidence had been restored, body was super healthy. Just keep an eye on him, as still bent over neck to stem to fit.
Just under a half hour left. Here's a free kick coming for Hartford. That's Butoh here on this near side. Defended by Harriel. They'll keep playing for the slight tug of the jersey. Hartford very content to be now patient. They've been very patient today, but now they can be even more so, up 2 goals to none. Asking for a handball in that scenario, not going to happen. Poached gets it wide. Here's Jorgensen. I think he thought about it for a second. Dixon now across, deflected into the middle. It's headed on. But Morton was there pretty easily to make the save. Just seems like the possession that Bethlem has had today has been in their defensive half. Well, maybe here's an opportunity. Axel Picasso one-on-one with Butoh, and Butoh off his line to make another tremendous save.
Great movement by Picasso on the right side. Quality rotation going on top right now between he and Shivani Willis. Had just slid in behind Raymond Lee, trying to pick out that far post. Notice the trailing foot. Butoh once again stepping up and making a fantastic save.
Here's Ryan. Picasso again. Just looking to bag his first goal on the season. Now Zandy. Towards the back post. Nobody was there. Now Cortez gets it wide. Chambers trying to keep it in. Said it's a giveaway. I think you could hear, maybe that was Brendan Burke yelling at Nathan Harriel. Bethlem will look to break down this stingy back line for Hartford. The Hartford back line looking for their first clean sheet on the season. Now here's Alex Dixon going to show off his speed again, and that should be a yellow card for Cole Turner. Making sure that he sees that he is going into the book.
Some of the youthful exuberance coming out. Cole Turner makes a smart foul, to be honest. It's a professional foul. You could just hear him at the tail end of it, walking away. May or may not have been some French words being used, but I know you're going to give me a yellow card. Thanks a lot.
Let me just go back and play defense now.
Right, that's always the one that got me. Like, you knew you were in trouble. Okay, I get it. I'm going to get carded. I'm going to walk away and feel a lot better about myself, but no. It then becomes the humbling experience where the referee has to call you back over like, it's almost like a little puppy. What did you do? Brings you all the way back over and then embarrasses you in front of your friends.
And Hartford not wanting to open up too much now. We'll play it all the way back to Butoh. Two subs have been used by Bethlehem Steel and Brendan Burke, just one for Hartford Athletic. Here's Zandy. Now Harriel. And Saran. Product out of Duke. Played forward by Harriel. Too heavy of a pass and out for a goal kick. Tune in to ESPN News on August 7th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for Wednesday Night Soccer, featuring two sides fighting to get back above the playoff line. Sacramento Republic FC host Las Vegas Lights FC as the playoff battle heats up with a crucial 3 points on the line. See it all August 7th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN News.
Don't be surprised if you see Jimmy Nielsen make another change around 75th minute mark. The pecking order, Jose Angulo would be the easy one to come off the bench, though Harry Swartz coming back from injury. They might want to nurse some of his abilities to gain some game fitness. Only been away a few, but still, they can slip away just like that, though might be unnecessary when you're sitting on a 2-goal lead.
Here's Raymond Lee. Looking for that through ball, just isn't there right now for Bethlehem. Still 20 minutes left though, plus stoppage time. Some opportunities should present themselves, but it's whether he can take advantage of them.
You can hear some of the shouts too. Zach Zandy frustrated with himself, knew that the pass was on to Willis, just couldn't execute.
So Picasso had a very good opportunity a few moments ago to at least bring one back, but once again it was Frederick Dewey. Made a few tremendous saves so far today. It's DeVitt, very physical, and that one right off the face, but Dewey will come and collect.
You think about it, you've got the 2 penalty saves. You mentioned just moments ago with Axel Picasso breaking through. That's 3 pretty clear-cut chances. Zach Zandy on the trailing ball to the top of the box. About 25-30 minutes into the first half. And again, Dewey just having one of those days. Jimmy Nielsen said to us that most of his struggles were in terms of just judgment on the long balls coming in. When it came to just stop shopping, super easy for the Danish man.
Ball played over the top for Willis, but the flag up, offside. They're on the striker today for Bethlehem Steel. Both these teams' next match will be against against Nashville on the road. It is Hartford who will make the trip to Nashville first before Bethlehem next weekend. It's a midweek matchup once again for Hartford.
I was about to say, I didn't realize Hartford could play each other.
Yeah, inter squad.
The way things are going for Jimmy Nielsen right now, he would love to have the depth to be able to pull that one off.
A very short bench today for Hartford Athletic. And a foul there on the far side. You can see frustration starting to come out here for Bethlehem Steel. As Matt Rial gets a talking to.
Now the referee went to the back pocket, almost threatened Matt Rial a little bit. Frustration boiling over for the left side of that defense. He and Walter Cortez. Cortez felt like he had done a good enough job to get a challenge in. The linesman felt otherwise, raises the flag. And it's these precious seconds that are just starting to tick off, disrupting the flow of the game, causing a bit of frustration. More fuel to the fire for Bethlehem Steel.
So another set piece opportunity for Hartford Athletic. So spread their players out in the box here. I'm sure somebody has to keep an eye on Jorgensen, who's lurking there at the top of the box. And Danielle Chesky looks like she has had enough. Looks like now we are ready. Swung in towards the back post. This will go all the way out for a Bethlem throw.
That's the look they wanted, Hartford Athletic. Unfortunately, Nikki Downs, reading the wrong book, gets started too late.
All played in. The shot on goal, saved by Morton. A good strike there by Ryan Williams. But unable to beat Morton on that occasion.
The craftiness by Daniel Bedoya in the middle of the field is beautiful. Little flick by the right foot. It's got some English on it. Check itself up a little bit, and Ryan Williams can have a go from distance.
Dewey will put it back in play. Fans of the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest levels across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. About 15 minutes left, and Bethlehem Steel looking to pull a few goals back. He's trying to make it interesting down the stretch in this match. But right now it is Hartford Athletic through Daniel Bedoya and Alex Dixon. One in the first half, one in the second half. They are in control here today on the road, looking for their second road win. A giveaway at the back. Alex Dixon looking for a brace. And the whistle blows as Danielle Chesky will bring it back. And another set piece opportunity coming for Hartford. An interesting decision there as Dixon was in on goal. His shot was saved in the end. But it looks like Hartford will still get that free kick.
Just keep an eye here. She's having a conversation with Benofemu. If Benofemu grabs a second yellow here, he's gone. There's the challenge in from behind, drags him down. You can make the argument, if the second yellow comes here, do not be surprised.
And it looks like that is a second yellow for Benofemu. And he will leave early today. Just 75 minutes and 2 yellow cards for the center back of West Bloomfield, Michigan. They're already without Jamoy Topi due to injury. Now Ofemu will miss the next match. Bethlehem still a 2-goal deficit and now down a man. And Jorgensen probably looking to take on Morton in goal here.
There's too much space on the near post. He'll eat that alive.
Here's Jorgensen stepping up. He was going for that far post, but couldn't direct it on frame. Looks like we'll get another substitution. And it is, as you mentioned, Jose Angulo coming on. It will be Alex Dixon to make way.
And you wondered exactly which direction Jimmy Nielsen would go here, whether or not he wanted to give some game time to Harry Swartz. There's still an opportunity with 14 and change left. Jose Angulo, who's provided some really nice distribution over the past few weeks, now gets his chance. Alex Dixon will take a seat, gets her 3rd goal on the year, confidence booster for him. And now an opportunity for another striker to maybe gain a bit of momentum. Jimmy Nielsen more than happy with the efforts put forth by Alex Dixon.
So Jose Angulo on, has 4 goals and 2 assists. And the pressure still being applied by Hartford. And there's another giveaway. Maybe an opportunity here for Hartford, looking for their 3rd. It's taken away by Bethlem, and they can come forward in the attack. Shivani Willis now, looking for Axel Picasso. Raymond Lee was there just in front of him.
Brenneberg always talks about experience and what that's going to look like. We'll track back to Axel Picasso in a second. He's going to make a change down the stretch. He'll bring Saran off, and Umi Shintu have an opportunity to get some repetitions. There's a shout from the sideline, said we gotta go. We gotta find a way to get some momentum here. Just outside of 11 minutes to play. They're still within striking distance.
It's played wide. Looking for Chambers there. He had a lot of room, but couldn't quite find him. Shinchu providing some height at 6'3". Of Ingolstadt, Germany, and here he is on the ball. He gets it taken away by Lee. See those fresh legs by using his hand on that occasion.
And some of the decision making we were talking about just moments ago you get guys that are super young like Axel Picasso, just trying to finalize his teenage years, and the run that's coming back across the middle, what he does when he approaches the top of the 18, when he continues the progression towards the interior, he's actually occupying space that shouldn't. If he holds his run on the outside, not only does he keep his runners with him, he also provides a second option in terms of distribution, but more importantly, the ball striker can go in a 1v1 and doesn't have to approach a crowded area. That's some of the stuff that Brandenburg talks about, that the experience is invaluable coming down the stretch. That yes, maybe they're making mistakes now, but the hopes is that as the games go on, as the years go on, not only will they be the recipients at this level, but they'll get the chance with the Philadelphia Union in the long run.
Their long ball over the top. Angulo chasing it. Angulo brings it down. Some indecision there in the box. A nifty backheel. A shot saved by Morton. It was Ryan Williams again. He's had a few chances, but Morton has denied him on each occasion. A good run here by Cortez. It's cleared back downfield. Here's Shintu. And all that youth is something that Brendan Burke has talked about and struggled with it this season. And as they look to get above that playoff line with such a young team, that's why a guy like James Chambers is so important, providing that experience for this side.
Brandenburg a little touch. He's still got it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
From the sideline. Respect that. More frustration for the manager as his squad's going to drop consecutive games, most likely. Still 10 minutes to go on this one, but the way things are panning out, not a lot of chances in the second half for the Bethlehem Steel. Hoping the changes made down the stretch, combined with the fact that maybe Hartford Athletic could become a bit complacent. Bethlehem Steel going down to 10 men. Sometimes teams can start to play a higher line, try and take advantage of the space available and get countered.
There's Jorgensen for Williams. Now Bedoya. As he cuts inside. It's Lee on the overlap. Flipped into the middle. That build-up play through the midfield. It's been hard to come by tonight for Bethlehem Steel. Good tackle there by Nathan Harriel. Maybe he can spring something for Bethlehem Steel. Here's Picasso. It's a pass away from around Williams. And maybe something coming for Raymond Lee, just a talking to.
Hands behind the back, but with the challenge and then the ball getting knocked away, referee extending the get out of jail free card to Raymond Lee. James Chambers can't believe the fact that he wasn't allowed to play quickly.
Chambers will take it in. He's headed away. Pucci comes away with it. Up for Angulo. Against Cole Turner, who's also on a yellow card. Angulo is able to keep it in play. Nice touch for Williams now. Here comes Hartford again. Vucic. Vucic, a shot, and it's 3 for Hartford Athletic. Vucic seals all 3 points with a third goal today for the away side. The third goal on the season for Vucic. And just the cherry on top here in Chester.
Vucic was the one who started the initial comeback against the Charleston Battery back on July 20th. That would obviously fall short. But this time around, just watch him sitting, waiting right at the top of the 18. A bit of perseverance. Ball does not fall from Matt Real, and the challenge on the 50-50. Got to go in harder here if you're Matt Real. If you're going to sacrifice the positioning, you have to make sure brunt force is being employed, especially when you're going up against a body like Poached. Instead, he continues his progression. And the man who hails from Poland just picks out that bottom corner to follow suit with Alex Dixon grabbing his third.
So what a moment and what a day here for Hartford Athletic. Their first ever win was a road win, so this would be their second road win in club history in their inaugural season. Definitely a confidence booster here as we are on August 1st, going in the last few months of the season. Now Williams again as Hartford wants some more. Butoh. An overlap coming from Williams. He lays it off for him. Across the 6, right into the hands of Morton. A tough day for Westchester native Todd Morton. His first game here for Bethlehem Steel since being acquired from Real Monarchs. It'll be a day to forget.
On the offensive side of things, Jimmy Nielsen really starting to find some continuity. This is a team that really struggled opening 18 matches and only had multi-goal games 5 times. And unfortunately, they were on the reverse side of that, grabbing the L's most occasions. Now, 5 games running, they've hit the back of the net at least twice. And we said defensively, could they shore things up, especially in the first half? They were able to do that. Grab a goal just inside 30 minutes. Turn things around in the second half, come out with a boatload of energy as they have so recently. Grab a second goal, and then just, can they see things out? That was the question coming down the stretch. They grabbed 3, and most assuredly 3 points.
Axel Picasso in. It's cleared away by DeVitt. They had scored 9 goals in the last 4 matches coming in. That's now 12-5. The goal scoring has been there, and they're just a few moments away from potentially their first clean sheet on the season. Bethlehem still coming forward. Here's Nathan Harriel, cross into the box. Dewey, it confused him for a moment. He was able to keep it out, and then it deflected off of Shintu, and it will be a goal kick. I'm not sure what happened there with Dewey. Maybe the sun got in his eyes.
He's down as well. Not feeling the play that just played itself out. This ball gets whipped back across, and there is a bit of sunlight right on the near post. You can see he loses it just a little bit, and sometimes for Bethlehem Steel, there's just no magic in the cards. That's what plays out in front of Shintu. Dewey wants some water before he sees out these final few minutes.
Dewey has come up big a lot today. Those 2 penalty saves. The big one-on-one save with Axel Picasso here in the second half. Here's Chambers now. Asking Shintu to run into it. Said it's Karinga. And he advances it as Hartford still coming forward. Switch the field, looking for the goal scorer, Vucek. Bethlehem playing with 10 men after Ofemu went out with his second yellow. 10 or so minutes ago. Chambers now. Shintu unable to control it. Hartford just hoping to see this one out at this point. I think maybe both these teams. These 3 points for Hartford Athletic would push them up to 16 points, their 4th win of the season. As for Bethlehem, you have to say this is a very big loss for them. They had a chance to go above the playoff line with a win against last place Hartford today. At home, unable to do so.
Opportunity wasted as the sun sets on this beautiful day that has been. So does the chance for the Bethlehem Steel to continue the rise in the Eastern Conference rankings. Again, they still stay relevant, but the ladder starting to become a bit longer. Hartford Athletic, on the other hand, hard to believe, they are now within 8 of a playoff spot.
This is the 22nd game for Bethlehem Steel. It is tied for the most, and it's 5 more than Loudon, who is at 19 points. Just a few points below them. Another ball in. Vucic, but a great save by Morton, denying a potential 4th goal by Hartford Athletic.
This is beyond difficult for both parties. For Vucic to bring this all the way back across his body and get enough to try and pick out the far post, that's one. Secondly, and not taking a back seat to the strike, is Todd Morton. Really impressed with what this young man has been able to do in his debut. Understanding that this could go either near or far. Reads the body language appropriately, and then shifts his weight over to get an outstretched arm, push the ball away.
You see the board go up, a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. Both these teams going to Nashville next week. Hartford in the midweek, Bethlem after that. Over the weekend, so a bit of a break for both these teams over the weekend. They get things going again next week.
It was a good shot from Hartford assistant coach Chris Spenlove on the sideline. Just telling his boys to focus. A couple minutes remaining. Coaching staff from Bethlehem Steel having similar sentiments, asking the boys to see things out and just finish off what they started. Yes, they're behind by 3, but there's still work to be done.
And things got a whole lot tougher for Bethlehem once Ofemi went out with that 2nd yellow card. Seen a lot of James Chambers trying to direct traffic right in the middle for Bethlehem today. This game could have gone the opposite direction. He could have put away one of those penalties. He was given 2 opportunities on the 22nd minute, but both were saved by Douay in goal for Hartford. A few moments later, it was Hartford putting one in the back of the net. And ever since then, it's really been an onslaught from Hartford Athletic. About 3 minutes through the minimum of 4 minutes. Hartford about 1 minute away from their first clean sheet of the season. Raymond Lee now clears it away. Here's Willis, gets it wide for Harriel. Picasso now. Here's Zach Zandy. Jorgensen tracking back. He'll win it back. And now Ryan Williams. Played down the near side, but the offside flag was up. Jimmy Nielsen coaching to the final whistle. See, he's not too pleased about that call. I think he will be pleased when he hears the final whistle. It's taken away by Hartford. And there is the final whistle. All 3 points to the away side today. Hartford Athletic, a 3-0 win over Bethlehem Steel. Their first clean sheet of the season, and a big road win for Jimmy Nielsen and Hartford Athletic. It's their second road victory this season. A job well done for Hartford on the road.
Pretty impressive from Jimmy Nielsen's squad. A tall task, and against a team, Bethlehem Steel, that, again, you really felt like things had started to figure themselves out. Struggled against St. Louis, but the belief was still there. And a good job by Hartford Athletic to sticking what they were best at, remain compact on the defensive side of things, and find a way to get your playmakers more relevant once you got into the final third. That's exactly what they did. Frederick Douay contains the first clean sheet of the season. 23 matches, better part of 60% it took, but they finally got it. Credit to Hartford Athletic. And Bethlehem Steel back to the drawing board.
You can also say it's the first clean sheet in club history as well. As we'll get to the highlights to see how this one went down. It was a first half goal that got Hartford going early. It was kind of just a poacher's goal here, but we'll start off with Bethlehem Steel coming forward and Zach Zandy.
That's a lovely play. James Chambers trying to find Zandy. Quick little touch into Shivani Willis, and it's the tackle on the overlapping run against Walter Cortez that gets them in trouble. It's not the first one, it's right there. Trailing run by Nicky Downs takes Cortez down. Referee points to the spot. Frustration? No, that's okay. Frederick Douay's got it. Peebo Dewey's on Loudon, of course. Good step up off the line, but leaves too early. A rule change in the book. They said they were going to go after a bit further. Well done to maintain composure by the goalkeeper, get up and push James Chambers off. Back-to-back saves for the goalkeeper from the penalty mark.
A very big moment in this match for Douay and Hartford Athletic, and then on the other side, a goal.
And you just wondered, where would the momentum swing come? Would the home squad continue to push the tempo and go after everything that was coming their direction? No, not the case. Visitors step back in. Lovely movement by Alex Dixon, recognizing the press being employed by Nicky Downs. Far post run by Butoh. First goal. Then continue on. Let's find a way. When we come out of the dressing room, what will the energy level be? For the fourth game in a row, they find a way to not only remain relevant, but distance themselves from the opposition. Alex Dixon just peels in between the two center backs. Ofe Monreal, they cannot communicate appropriately. They get the second goal. The third one, that would come from Poached. We saw that he was able to keep his team within striking distance against the Charleston Battery. This time, no. Signed, sealed, delivered by the Polishman up top. They get 3 points. And again, they get within 8 of a playoff position.
And 20 shots for the away side. They really had things going today. 11 shots on target as well. It's Bethlehem Steel who had the possession, but everything going to Hartford today, including all 3 points.
Just came down to execution. When push came to shove, Hartford Athletic were able to close out their chances. Bethlehem Steel let all of theirs get pushed to the wayside. And then when it came down to it, you got about 30, 35 minutes. No magic. It just started to get away from Bethlehem Steel. Brendan Burke will understand that. Some frustration by both squads with the referee. Thought things were tailored much better down the stretch. Jimmy Nielsen and Bethlehem Steel, both of those going back and forth at each other. Will have the same opponent this weekend. Short rest for one. An opportunity back to the drawing board for the other.
So that is going to do it from the shores of the Delaware River at Talent Energy Stadium. Hartford Athletic get their biggest win in club history, a 3-0 win over Bethlehem Steel. For our entire crew and Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long as Hartford come into Chester and get a big win. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.